Well, I'm working on a churchwarden today. The basic shape will be like that. It's pretty straightforward. I got the stem here. I did the Delrin rod method on this stem. I've shown that in a previous video. It's basically where you drill into the end of the stem. You use the Forstner bit to take off the little stub that's there that isn't shaped right, and you drill into the end and stick a Delrin rod that you've bored a hole through the center. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, bored a hole through the center. So that's an 1/8 inch hole in the center. Is a 5/32 Delrin rod, I think. And that goes in there. Now, one of the things that's weird about this, if you look down, you can see, if you look at this fat part here, it's nowhere near round. As I turn this, you can kind of see that, right? And if we look down at the end, it's much thinner this way than it is this way. And that's going to be a problem because the stem is supposed to meet on this pipe, on the stummel. They're supposed to be kind of, the same. It's supposed to meet like that, and the wood part is supposed to naturally flow into here. So I'll have to fit that. The problem will be that I'll never ever be able to fix that again. If I need to replace the stem or something, it'll be a pain in the butt. But, I won't have to replace the stem because I'll give the thing away. So I've been sanding at this a lot in my spare time. This one was really messed up. There's still some ridges here. I don't know if you can see them. Get down here in the light. There's a light down here. You can still see there's a ridge left there from a molding line. I'm going to have to work more on that. And on the other side, this side's not too bad. But let's see if we can get a good shot here in the sun. You can really see how that's not a circle. And that's not just because I've been sanding it. It just doesn't come as a circle. These stems are really, really roughly cast. I messed up for the first time ever. I completely messed up the drilling. Let me see, where is it? I don't even know where I've put it. But I messed up the drilling of one of these. It should be over there, but I can't find it right now. I wonder if I threw it out. So I had to start over. Basically, I didn't quite drill, the 1/8 inch arrow shaft deep enough. And then I went down in here and I didn't hit it, so I just kept going deeper and deeper and deeper. And then I finally said, that's way deeper than I should. And so I took the drill bit and I put it in here, and it popped out in here 1/8 of an inch above the bottom. So that block of wood is ruined. This is a better block of wood anyway. This was plateau. I've cut all the plateau off of it. There's a little bit left there, I guess, but I'll be sanding that off and shaping that off. It's just a basic pipe. Should be fun. Should be easy. I haven't covered all the steps because they're getting kind of repetitive, and I know you folks. I have analytics on my YouTube channel, so I know people watch my weather videos, and then they watch the first 2 minutes of my pipe videos, and then they skip to the end. So I'm basically just doing a compressed version of the pipes from now on. Okay, I will now start shaping this. I'll be starting out. I used the band saw to cut roughly that shape already, and I'll be over here on the 1-inch band sander to do some more shaping, and then to the Dremel tool. So pretty much the same thing I do on every pipe in terms of tools. Okay. All right, now we are probably about an hour and a half into shaping this manually. I have fit the stem. All I had to do is sand down the end of that tenon, that Delrin rod, till it fit. I've been shaping this. This one is actually going to be a pretty smooth shape. And so most of it, like almost everything you see here, with the exception of right here, was done with my 1-inch belt sander. And now this is a really cheap 1-inch belt sander. And I was over at my friend Yogi's house a few weeks ago, and he had his gigantic 1-inch belt sander out, and I turned it on, and I was amazed how much faster his went and how much material it takes off. I kind of like the fact that this is a little bit weak and slow, because it can really get away from you if you lean on it hard with a bigger one. But, you know, this is just going to be sort of a cone shape, rounded. I haven't decided. I think it's going to, see, I like this profile on this side. It's a little bit different. This one's a little bit bumpy. So right now it kind of looks like John McCain, right? It's got a bump on one side and it's straighter on the other. But, you know, I got to sand that off. The hardest part here is going to be, you know, in this area here, because I'll have to use the Dremel. You really can't get the belt sander in there because, you know, this part's in the way. So I got a little bit in there, and you see it cut a groove because I was able to get in there for some of this, but it's cutting a groove. That's bad. So I'll take, you know, probably this barrel cutter and straighten that edge out there. And I've been using a little bit of, oops, I made myself a nice wood block that I keep all these in now. So I got my sanders over here, and I got my Dremel carvers here. These are little dinky, I bought a new Dremel and it came with these little dinky, like, detail carving things. Someday, the next pipe, I think, is supposed to have little, like, vines carved into it. I may try it with those, especially now that I've got a wrecked block of briar. I can practice on it. But I've been using, you know, the round one, the burr tools. I've been using the coarse. That one's the fine. So the coarse goes here and it's missing because it's in the Dremel. But, you know, I have a long way to go still. I've gotten fairly close on this stem for now. I can get closer. I want to clean up this area a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how to mate the stem to the body yet. I think it's going to have to be sort of a curve. I can't do that on the belt sander, so I will have to eyeball that and figure out exactly what I want to do. Really, one side of this looks good, and the other side kind of looks junky right now. I'm pretty happy with this side. I'm going to try to make the other side, you know, look like this. All right, this wood has a few flaws in it. Got one right there. I'll be able to take this top down a little bit to get rid of that. I also nicked the top over here with my burr tool. That's bad. I have another little flaw right there. My bashed thumbnail's almost grown out. It's been months on that one. You can watch my videos. You can see when I bashed my thumb. But, you know, overall it's coming okay. All right, back to work. Actually, I'm going to knock off for tonight because it's getting kind of late. I'll start again tomorrow. Well, it's a really strange thing. I've now fit this. The strange thing is that I remembered that I own this. It's a multi-tool. It has a bunch of different attachments for the end here, but one of which is this sort of triangular-ish shaped sanding disc. It's a hook and loop fastener. I don't know if it's genuine Velcro or not, but you know, I've got sandpapers in 120 and 240 on this, and it turns out, you know, if you run it at a low enough speed, you don't want to go super high because it'll scorch, but if you run it at kind of a lower speed, it does a really good job sanding. I just started, and I'm very happy. You know, see, I have a little tool mark still there. I decided to do sort of a step on the side here. It's not done yet. I still have a lot of sanding to go because it's not quite even. I'm working on that. But, gosh, I carved it originally with my Dremel bits, you know, one of these and also the barrel one. And that leaves it reasonably smooth, but with lots of strokes in it, right? It doesn't scratch up the surface like the burr tools do, but, you know, it leaves in each pass you make, it's almost like whittling. It leaves its individual line. So I've been just trying to see how easily I can smooth it out with this, and it's working fantastically. You know, I bought this for something else. It's never been useful to me on anything. I've been very disappointed in it as a tool because I can't find a use for it. It's perfect for this. So I guess if you have a mouse sander, this is really the only attachment on it that I've used that's useful for anything. I have little, like, cutting attachments that puts a little blade, you know, horizontally like this, like a little jigsaw blade, and we'll cut. And that's not useful for anything. That's what I originally bought it for. it just wanders all over the place. But this is great. So I will be finishing it with this quite a bit now. A couple hours, maybe 2-3 hours of work since the last video. And I'm starting to this is sort of the final shape, and I just have to smooth it out. And I'm going to do this bottom part in a different color from the top part. I think this will be the saddle tan, and I'm debating whether this will be the dark brown or the red. I may go red on this one. It's kind of looks like it might like red. But I got to get all these nicks and cuts out and stuff. I was able to sand out that there was a flaw right on the top here. I sanded that out. It came right out. There's no other flaws. There might be this one right here is sort of a little bit there. That'll probably sand out. It's not very deep. But that's about it. Other than that, this is a nice block of wood. All right, a few more hours of sanding to go. Thanks, everyone. Well, now it's done. Turned out all right. Nice and shiny. I did a two-tone. I don't know if you can tell in this light. This bottom part here is burgundy, and then this top part here is saddle tan. In better light, it looks good. You can tell the two-tone, but it's pretty subtle, actually. It blended together really well. I ended up, because of the way I was doing the two-tone, I was using a brush on this, and it got super runny. I normally use a Q-tip. Got super runny, and all ran down in here, so I ended up having to stay in the chamber, which is no big deal. As soon as you light this up, it turns black anyway, so that's no big deal. It fits really well. I'm very happy with it. It's a gift for a friend of mine who doesn't smoke a pipe, but hopefully he can start smoking a pipe.